episode 17 of the Q Review, brought to you by Barely's House of Blues and Ribs in downtown Halifax. Some of the best calamari I've ever had.
Oh,
really? And the Q Review is your one-stop shop for everything Quebec Major Junior Hockey League and the unofficial podcast of the QMJHL. To my right, your left, is Theo Iatru, co-host. How's it going, Theo?
It's going good. Busy week with school and busy week with this, but can't wait for this episode. Shaun, and can't wait.
Good stuff. Do you have my prop over there?
What's the prop? Oh!
So I learned that karma...
Oh, God.
Karma is real.
Yeah.
Because as you guys know, last week we went on the rant about Officer Shaun. We won't say last names because...
I think we did say the last.
No, we're not going to say it this time.
Oh, we did. Okay.
So Shaun kind of screwed my buddies. So I was driving today about 200 meters away from the exit for school, and Officer Andrew pulled me over and said, "Sir, you were going too fast." Actually, his exact words were, "You are beating me in a race, so I pulled you over." He was angry that I beat him in a race. So, well, he let me off easy, though. He was a good guy. He said, we'll let you off with disobeying road signs, which I think with speeding is $300, and then you lose your license for a bit, and then you also get demerit points off. So he just said, "Nah, we'll just give you the..."
At least he was a good guy.
Signs, yeah.
At least he wasn't Shaun.
Tried to give him a business card and a sticker, kind of try to see if I could get out of the ticket, but didn't quite work. He was Scottish, and he said he didn't really like hockey, so that didn't really work.
Said he followed rugby. So.
Yeah, he said he followed rugby, so...
Different sport. But
next time.
Next time.
Now I'll know that's an out. We'll see if that works next time. But, do you have any crazy stories? Because I'm the one that's been...
Yeah, you've been having tons of crazy stories.
That's
man. I look like a loser with no stories, but
what else do I got on the go?
Not
CC hockey tonight.
Oh, there
Should
you
be
go.
Exciting. Trying to make this team. I can't skate, so it'll be a lot of chirping and trying to. What is it? Energy. Be the energy guy.
Fourth liner. That's all you need.
Oh yeah, everyone needs one, man.
Everybody needs one. It's just as important as
everyone needs
liner.
a Kyle Clifford. Everyone needs a. Can't think of any fourth liners in the Q right now.
Oh, Q. Yeah.
Everyone needs a Shaun Miller.
Shaun Miller. I would say he's a fourth liner though.
I hope Shaun hears that.
Yeah.
He'll give it to me.
I didn't say it. He did.
Oh well. Anyway, let's get into it. CHL Top 10 rankings. Quebec Remparts, no surprise here, stay at number 1. Halifax Moosehead stay at number 3 after getting points in the last 24 games. I think they're about 4 or 5 off from the Q record set by Sidney Crosby's Rimouski team, so that's pretty exciting time in Halifax.
Not a big
Barn's
deal.
filling up, man. I was there on Sunday, 10,000 fans.
I was just about to say, like, you can feel
the buzz.
Feel the buzz, which is good.
Sherbrooke up to number 6, Gatineau up to number 8, and Victoriaville, honorable mention again. I want to correct from last week. I said Nick Bilodeau was the first defenseman in Sea Dogs history to score a hat trick. He was actually the first Sea Dogs rookie defenseman to score a hat trick. But,
was it Chabot?
Well, I mean, Chabot didn't get one his rookie season then, so it's still... I'm not sure who the other ones were, but still impressive that he, it's not easy being a rookie, and Shaun will tell you about that in his interview later, but a couple suspensions. Mathis Perron, 1 game for accumulation of codes. Basically a big slap on the rest of the queue saying, stop getting suspended. Stop getting suspended.
Jesus.
So, yeah, 1 game. Cam Henderson, Cape Breton Eagles, 2 games for checking to the head. I only laugh because I know Cam. Makes sense.
Way to throw him under the bus.
Anthony Hamill, 1 game for being the aggressor. Moncton Wildcats. I'm not quite sure what that term means, but I'm assuming he just got on someone's nerves and started a fight. But
makes sense. Charles
Boutin at Cape Breton, 2 games for boarding. Nothing too crazy, but no, 5 game suspensions for saying bad stuff. Like some we've seen earlier.
Yeah, we've seen some pretty bad stuff lately.
But it's okay. Scholastic Players of the Month for January, so this is basically the top students for each team. Dylan Andrews of Bathurst is on there. First overall pick, Thomas Lavoie. We also have Olivier Nadeau, who is just coming back from surgery. He's lighting it up with Gatineau right now. Brady Schultz of Halifax. We also have Julian Bayland of Rimouski. He was great. I watched him live. He's a great player. Huge forward. Just really good with the puck for his size. So
200-foot player.
Yeah, it's good to see some of these guys in the classroom kind of, it's hard balancing both.
I could not do that for sure.
Shawinigan, Lorenzo Katanika, he was on the Swiss World Junior team, so he's impressing in the classroom. Nathan Bolduc is on there from Val d'Or, and Pierre-Olivier Waugh, the defenseman from Victoriaville. So, congrats to those guys. School's obviously just as important, as we've had to cancel episodes because of school before. Anyway, QMJHL Team of the Week, Sam Savoie, Gatineau Olympique, 6 points in 2 games. 5 points against St. John, which is a career high, and an assist against Moncton. 49 points in 41 games this season with the Wagon Gatineau Olympique, who have won 8 of their last 10.
He's been unreal. Like, I talked about this before. Like, some guys that played in midget and get drafted in the Q don't do so hot when they jump to that Q level, but he's been
there for a bit, though.
Yeah, I know. No, I'm just saying, but he was nasty in Moncton. And
with the Flyers.
Yeah, with the Flyers. So,
was he on that Telus Cup team?
I think so. What year was that?
I don't think he was, actually. A couple years ago. No.
Because they were away. I don't know. But
we'll
anyway,
have to look. Maybe take a look.
Yeah, he's been having a great year, though.
Jacob Rabanich, Sherbrooke Phoenix, getting back from Czechia's World Junior team. He's lighting it up with Sherbrooke, his new team. 6 points in 3 games. Goal against the Remparts. 4 points against Bathurst, tying a career high. And a goal against the Rouen-Noranda Huskies. And since coming to Sherbrooke, he has 13 points in 8 games. Great pickup there by Sherbrooke. I think he was that missing center they needed.
Factor, yeah.
They had their top center, Justin Gill, but I don't think they really had much depth past that. So that's a good pickup there. Maxime Massé, he's lighting it up as a 16-year-old rookie. 5 goals in 3 games, couple versus the Drakkar, and a hat trick against the Cataracts, his first career one, and I'm sure first of many. 25 goals and 26 assists in 48 games. He's leading, you got, when you have the rookie scoring race, usually there's a couple 17, 18-year-olds in there, but Massé as a 16-year-old is kind of, lighting it up. So.
Oh, man, that's just, like Shaun was mentioning, what you said before, like, it's hard.
Well, Chicoutimi's doing a lot better than I thought they were going to. Like, I had them missing the playoffs, I think. It was them and Shawinigan. Yeah, so, and I mean, looking at the standings, I don't think they're that far out of,
yeah.
We look here, Chicoutimi, 4th in the East.
That's not bad.
So, and that's a, Halifax and Quebec are kind of.
Like, they're above Moncton right now.
They're tied for 3rd.
Well,
in the conference.
But still.
So, yeah, Chicoutimi and Massé is a big reason of that. They're really speeding up their rebuild. They had 4 first-round picks last year. So, they're speeding up their rebuild. It's good to see.
Yeah, they should be a wagon next year for sure.
On D, you've got Veselad Komarov of the Remparts. 3 points in 3 games. A goal against Sherbrooke and a goal against Blainville and an assist against Moncton. And Freddie Brunet, I think this is the best pickup of the deadline. Bruins prospect, 6 points in 2 games. 4 points against Moncton, couple of assists versus Val d'Or. And Brunet now leads all defensemen in points with 56. Pretty sure passing his teammate Pierre-Olivier Waugh.
Pierre-Olivier Waugh is also having a great year as well.
Also named QMJHL Player of the Week.
There you go.
So congrats to Freddie and Oliver Shatney of the Eagles, 2-0-0 with a .964 save percentage and a 1 goal against average. 25 saves against Bathurst, 28 saves versus Charlottetown, and Shatney has won 3 straight starts. And I think he lost his last 6 or 7 before that. So
he's bouncing back.
Like we said last week, the bottom 8 teams are separated by 5 points. Mm-hmm. So while they're close to last, every point kind of matters right now.
How many games left in there?
Well, they play.
There's not that many.
Well, most of these teams have 50 games. So.
I don't mean to fact check you.
I want to say it's I think there's 12 games left.
Yeah.
So it'll be quite the race.
It's going to come down to the wire.
Yeah. Right now, if the playoffs started today, St. John and Bathurst would miss.
Yeah.
But Charlottetown's only 1 up on Bathurst.
I think we expected that with Bathurst, though. Losing Kidney was probably, and Melanson, kind of too big.
You had them high.
I did have them high, but I didn't expect Kidney and Melanson to go. So.
Oh, I did. That's why I put them low.
Well, he's a smart guy. So.
Now, Theo, you get to talk about some weekday games.
Let's do it. All right. So January 31st, Cape Breton defeats Titan 2-1. Sam Johnson is having a terrific year.
That was a great pickup.
He opens the scoring, and then in the third, he scores again with his 53rd point of the season. And then Dylan Edwards, as we just mentioned.
Dylan Andrews?
Yeah. Scores the lone goal. Did I say Edwards? My bad. Scores the lone goal for the Titan.
Don't you know him? Don't you know?
I played against him. I'm sorry for seeing this. I apologize. February 1st, Shawinigan defeats Drummondville 3-1. Alexis Bonfant and Jacob Lafontaine both score in the first, and Felix Lachette pops one in the third for Shawinigan also. And Mannix Landry scores the lone goal for Drummondville in the third on the power play, but doesn't seal the deal. Gatineau defeats Moncton 3-2 for Cheska LaPena, baby. First star with 33 saves, 35 shots. Cole Cormier for Gatineau gets them on the board, assisted by Colin Rett. Nathan Greener from Moncton ties the game up at 1. And then Riley Kinney and Cam McDonald score 2 unanswered to make it 3-1. And then Vincent LaBelle for the Cats scores to make it 3-2, but Gatineau closes the deal with the W.
Speaking of Vincent LaBelle and Frankie LaPena, both of them are going to U Ottawa next year with the GGs. So that's confirmed off multiple sources.
U Ottawa, man, that's crazy.
And Kaylin Gauthier, captain of the Sherbrooke Phoenix, is going to UQTR.
What's that?
They're the ones that won U Sports. That's who Alex Gravel plays for.
Right, yeah.
Trois Rivières Patriots.
French.
That's what they are. Patriots, whichever one it is.
So St. John defeats Valador 5-4. St. John was up 3-0 thanks to Eric Smalatico, and he then scores again 10 minutes later. Then Noah Reinhardt also pops one in for the Dogs. And then Vincent N. Fredette and David Doucette for Valador make it 3-2. And then Eric Matico gets his first QMJHL hat-trick with his 22th point of the season and makes it 4-2 for the Dogs. And then February 2nd, Islanders defeat Halifax 5-4 in a shootout. I was kind of watching highlights a bit earlier. This is kind of a crazy game. But Zach Leroux got 2 goals, and Jacob Hilary gets the third star with 28 saves on 32 shots. And Michael Horth wins it for the Islanders in a shootout with it. And Marcus Vidicek also had a crazy move in the shootout that I saw, which was nice.
Friend of the show, Zach Leroux.
Yeah, sorry. Friend of the show. My bad. Shout out Leroux. And then Rouen defeats St. John 4-2. First star was Ben Brunel. Gets first star for the Huskies with 1 goal, 1 assist. And then second star was Louis-Philippe Fontaine. Also for the Husky, gets 1 goal, 1 assist. And then third star was Oliver Boudreau, saved 44 of 48 shots for the Dogs. So the battle of the top Quebec teams. Quebec defeats Sherbrooke 5-4 in overtime. Zach Bolduc gets first star with 1 goal, 1 assist for Quebec. Veselov Komarov also gets a second star for Quebec with 1 goal. And Olivier Adam saved 37 of 42 shots for Sherbrooke. And then Friday, February 3rd, Rimouski defeats Cape Breton 4-0. Patrick Hammerla gets his 4th shutout this season. And Halifax defeats the Islanders for revenge from last week, 4-2. Alex Doucette gets 2 goals, which gets him first star. And second star was Marcus Vidicek with 1 goal. And Dixon Grimes was the third star for the Islanders, saved 36 of 39 shots.
He's the son of former coach John Grimes.
There we go.
Fun fact, I believe.
Fact check that.
Yeah,
and then Sherbrooke, 9-3 win over Titan. Not naming all the goals here because that's a shitload of goals, but one thing that's important is Joey Henneberry got 1 goal of those 3 goals. Friend of the pod. There you go.
Joey Henneberry. Jake Grimes, sorry.
There you go.
Jake was the former Cape Breton coach. He also coached quite a bit in the OHL.
There you go.
Well, we better get into our interview guest. Shaun Miller will be coming on. Shaun currently 15 points in 21 games with Dow. Dow is eliminated from playoff contention, so it's good of Shaun to come on. And so let's take it right to Shaun Miller of the Dow Tigers. Very special guest coming on today on the Q Review from the Dalhousie Tigers men's hockey program. Please welcome Shaun Miller. Shaun, what's going on today, buddy?
Oh, nothing much. Just wasting away another day of school. So excited to have something a little bit different rather than to be sitting on Microsoft Word all day.
That's
What are you taking at school, Shaun?
I'm doing business management and majoring in leadership and organizations management. So,
interesting.
Good stuff.
Not getting my PhD, but I'm busy enough.
Love to hear it. So, Unfortunately, we were talking about this earlier, but Dow was just eliminated from playoff contention. What are the days kind of looking like right now?
Yeah, so I mean, we still have 2 games to play. We play Acadia on Friday, and we play St. Mary's in our last game, which is the Lobster Cup on Saturday night, which will be senior night for some graduating guys. Which is obviously we're statistically eliminated, but I don't think any hockey player goes into a game just thinking that they can put it on cruise control and just cruise through. So still practicing, still working on our game, and continuing to get better as a team, which is pretty important as a program right now to not waste any time we have on the ice and keep pushing forward. So still practicing, still training, and just looking to move forward as a group.
That's good to know about that Lobster Cup. I'm calling that game Saturday. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, that's a big one.
So good. It's good to
hear.
Big one. So you grew up in Enfield, Shaun. Were there any guys that you played with, or like any big names now who you grew up with?
In Enfield, no, not in Enfield. I mean, in the hockey world, not really. I mean, I grew up with a tremendous amount of good buddies and good athletes. None of us made the bigs though, so we're all pursuing later life things, and guys are working all over the city, all over North America. So there's some very successful individuals, but none in the hockey world or sport world.
Hey, it's always good to be in the workforce though. Like there's nothing wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all that matters.
100%. So I played baseball against you, and I know for a fact, great athlete all around, like provincially and playing AAA, AA baseball. So what made you choose hockey as your sport?
Yeah, I think so. Basically, the story was I was born into a hockey family, a little bit of baseball ties, not really any baseball ties at all. But my best friend growing up, his name's Matt Turner, lived a couple houses down from me. I'm sure you remember Matt. Lived a few houses down from me, and his father moved back from Mississippi, and we were just out playing catch in the driveway, and he said, "Well, boys, we should probably make a baseball team." So we made a ball team, and that's when the East Hanson Minor Ball Hockey Association was formed. Was by Larry Turner, Matt's father. Many don't know that, and he doesn't like to take credit and doesn't get very much credit for it, but he did do that. Just shout out Larry, because that's a huge program now, and it's kind of been overlooked that he was the founder of it. But so I just ended up falling in love with baseball, but it was always a second to me with hockey. So hockey always came first. As much as I did love baseball and I was committed to baseball, I always knew in the back of my heart, in the back of my head, that hockey was going to be the path that I followed. Oh, sorry, where's the light going on?
Little lighting issue. We feel that.
Oh, I have my laptop on behind for some lighting.
There we go.
That's the university budget. You got to light yourself with a laptop.
Big Larry was a beauty, man. I always remember just yelling across the field at his play.
That's the Nova Scotia baseball right there.
Oh yeah. Ed, do you have any favorite baseball memory? I know we're a hockey podcast, but I want to know what your favorite baseball memory is.
Team.
What's that?
What's your favorite?
I think it's hard to pick out one memory. I mean, for anybody, any organized sports growing up, it's hard to pick out one exact memory. But probably my favorite memory playing baseball was a couple years we had the Memorial Tournament in East Hanson, Enfield, and we only lived a couple streets over from the ball field. So obviously when we played our games, we were there, but throughout the whole weekend, we were able to be around the field, helping out. Doing maintenance on the field if we could helping out with canteen, and just being involved with the community of the baseball. And obviously we were children, so we were having a ton of fun messing around with other teams and competing too. So that tournament that was hosted in our local community every year was probably my favorite time of the year every year.
Was there any player or person you really looked up to in hockey, or someone who inspired you to play?
Yeah, in hockey, I think obviously my grandfather played in the AHL for 14 years and is a massive role model in my life. So He was a guy I could always turn to, reach out to him if I was struggling or if I was doing well. He would reach out to me. It was just somebody I could always count on to give me the right advice and point me in the right direction, whether that was in hockey, in life, baseball. It didn't matter. He was always there, and he's a greatest role model for me throughout the entirety of my life.
This might make you feel a bit old, but your Q draft day was about 7 years ago, 2015. You were drafted by Blainville, 4th round. Can you talk about your draft day, kind of like how it was spent?
Yeah, so it was in Sherbrooke, and I don't love hearing that it was 7 years ago already. I mean, I did play 5 years, but I don't like that. But so it was in Sherbrooke, and I didn't have much expectations for it. I mean, my draft year, I had a broken arm, missed quite a few games, didn't have an outstanding season, had a couple good tournaments at the Canada Games and the Q Combine, which I think helped my stock a little bit. But my parents drove up because we decided it was going to be a good memory, getting drafted. So Blainville drafted me, and I remember walking down the stairs. I probably had the biggest pit sweats you ever seen in your whole entire life. I was through that blue suit, and remember Joel Bouchard, the head coach of Blainville, head coach, part owner, general manager, basically the whole entire organization was shaped around him. He just shook my hand and said, "Am I allowed cursing?" He just said, "Are you fucking happy?" And I just said, yeah, I'm happy. And I was so nervous, but it was a great day. And then ended up having to travel back the next day. I had exams 2 days after, so drove to Sherbrooke, got drafted, did all the post-draft operations, drove home and had some exams that I studied for in the back of my parents' Hyundai Santa Fe.
That's hilarious.
Right. So you start the season with Cole Harbour, right? Your 16-year-old year. So you leave to Quebec to play in Blainville for the next half. Can't be easy, right? So what was it like for you? Kind of go through your rookie season.
Yeah. So what happened was I was drafted 16, went to the under 17 Team Canada camp, got injured in a hit from behind. I'm not sure why they decided to do it, but they took the teams, and instead of playing 3 regular inter-squad games, they took one of them away and made it all small area games, and it was just a bloodbath. And I got hit from behind, hurt my neck pretty bad, so didn't get to compete at Blainville camp. Was sent back to Cole Harbour just to develop find my game, and I think I did that pretty well for the time that I was there. I'm not sure the exact date I went out, but it was pretty early. Played until Christmas. They let me go back and play in, I'm not sure what the Quebec Challenge, I think it's called. Maybe it's a big tournament in Gatineau every year that the good major midget teams go to. They let me go play in that, and then I was brought right back to Blainville. So I think it was important for me to go back and play in midget. And if I was to do it again, I think I would have opted to stay in midget and develop another full year. And I don't know if any kids are gonna be listening to this, and obviously there'll be people listening to this that are going to be faced with the same opportunity. But I don't think it's ever a bad idea to take that year at 16, even if you do want the status and you do want the tracksuits and you do want to be signing autographs. I think it's good to go back, take the time to really develop as a player and grow a little bit more than you already have. Whether you think you're ready or not, I think it's good to take that year at 16, go back to midget, gain confidence, find your game a little bit more, pay a little bit more attention to details, and then when you're ready to make that jump, you'll hit at 17 and have a lot more confidence.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of travel, man. You said you went to Blainville and back a couple times. Yeah. So that's a lot for a 16-year-old. Just
What were your parents saying about that?
Were they? Yeah, they were. I mean, they were along for the ride as well. So they were happy for me. Obviously, a bit nervous. You're sending your kid away for the first time, and I remember the first time that I left home to go to Blainville, all I had was a plane ticket and an address that said just a random address. And so we were about 25-30 minutes away from Montreal. So I flew into Montreal. Never took a taxi before. Obviously, I was 16 years old, never had to order my own taxi. So I had to do the airport by myself the first time, get a taxi to a billet house, which I've never been to a billet before. And then I knocked on the door the first time and no one answered. So I sat on their front porch for 4 hours, confused, not knowing what to do, didn't know who to call. I don't speak French, so didn't really know what to do. Couldn't really contact the team because I was a little bit embarrassed. But it was just a crazy kind of first travel day. And as a parent, I think that's a little bit intimidating when you see your kid having to deal with that after being taken care of for the first 16 years of your life. So different for them, different for me, but good learning curve for all of us.
4 hours on the doorstep, man. Do you think the team was stroking you like rookie initiation?
Yeah, they might have been. That or the billets were trying to warm me up for the house. I'm not sure.
What were your billets like?
Yeah, they were good. I was only there for a little while, and I ended up going to a different billet house, which fell in love living there, and it was just an amazing family. Really took care of me, and things couldn't have worked out any better in my second billet house. But most of the billets that I had were fantastic. Actually, all of my billets I had were fantastic. So it was great.
People might not know this, but you got traded for a couple pretty big names. You got traded for Drake Batherson back when Blainville went on their run. And you also got traded for Tyler Heinem. Did either of those trades like shock you? Was either one of them like expected?
Yeah, actually, they're both a little. I think I might have been not very knowledgeable as of the trade deadlines by the time I was traded for Drake. Like I said, I've said this on other podcasts and interviews, but Drake was at the World Juniors. He was at the World Juniors playing, and I was in Blainville. And we found out as a team that we were going to get Drake to Blainville one day. So whether it was a Friday night, so I'm on FaceTime with Drake saying, and I had an empty room at my billet house. I was telling him, "Oh, this is gonna be great. We're gonna be able to live together. We're gonna play together. This is gonna be awesome." Another English guy from Nova Scotia is coming in, and I had trained with Drake before, been training with Drake before in the summer. So it was super exciting. And so I got in the car the next morning. Obviously, he wasn't thinking anything more of the trade. And I got a call from my dad, and he said, "Shaun, I think you just got traded to Cape Breton for Drake." Man. And I just told him, I said, "Dad, get off Twitter. That stuff's never correct. Like, yeah. I don't even know how you get on that." And I walked in the front door, and I had the finger pointing at me to come in, and I get told that I was getting traded. So I was a little bit surprised by that one. And then the one for Heinem was a complete blindside. Not sure, still not overly sure what the motive was behind it. Had a great team, played 25 minutes plus a night, killed penalties, played power play, did my job. Everybody was happy with me. Coaches were happy with me. The general manager at the time didn't live in the area. It was his first year as a general manager. He lived in Ottawa and had other jobs on the go. Not overly sure still don't understand his motive behind it. But you know what? I've moved on from that one, and it was a blindside, but I enjoyed the remaining time in my junior career.
Yeah, you guys had like similar points that year.
Yeah, that's
so.
Yeah. It didn't make any sense to me, the coaching staff, the players, or anybody, but it was something that happened and something that I was forced to deal with. So that's what I did.
So you played for 3 pretty small markets. You played for Cape Breton, Blainville, Rouyn-Noranda. Not huge markets such as like Halifax, Quebec. Can you talk about like playing in those 3 places, kind of like what it was like playing in front of that kind of hockey city?
Yeah, I think each one of them is so different and unique in their own ways. Obviously, you're playing in Blainville. You're 25, 30 minutes away from downtown Montreal. The fans are, I wouldn't say as passionate because they can take a 20-minute bus ride into the city and watch Montreal Canadiens. It really, like, it's a good night to go out for them and to have fun, but I don't think the fan base has the same passion as the small cities do. Like if you look here in Halifax or in Cape Breton, Rouyn-Noranda, those fan bases really grasp onto that team and they treat them as their own because that's what they have and that's their source of entertainment in those cities. That's the biggest thing they have. So I enjoyed playing a lot in the smaller cities, and Cape Breton was by far my favorite place to play.
Who would you say your favorite player was to play in the queue?
To play against?
or to play against and play with?
Okay, so my favorite. Sorry, guys, I keep messing up this
No,
light.
it's all good. It's all good.
My favorite player to play against was, I mean, honestly, my favorite player to play against is probably the guy that I don't notice, because that probably wasn't that hard to play against him. But I would say if I was to say the hardest player to ever play against would be Thomas Chabot was pretty good, but Lafreniere was incredible. And I had playing Cape Breton, I wouldn't call it a privilege, but I had the role of trying to shut him down. So I played every minute of the playoff series against him. If he went on the ice, I went on the ice, and we lost 4 straight. So you can see how my job went. Yeah, he was incredible, and I know he's not having too much success at the NHL level yet, but I can see it coming very soon, and he'll be a very strong player at that level. And I think my favorite player to play with, there's so many of them. I enjoyed playing with all of them. I'd say the guy that I stuck around, played with the longest, was Kyle Havlina. We started together. I was a 16-year-old, or I was 17 when he started at 16 in Blainville. We were traded to Cape Breton together, played for years there, and we've always maintain contact and have a good friendship. So he's playing at Concordia University now and has his own hockey development program for youth in his community. So he's a great guy, and I can't wait to hopefully run pass again with him again soon.
And who would be the toughest goalie you've ever played against? What goalie, when you looked on the schedule, kind of made you go like, "Oh shit, we got to play him"?
Yeah, I think player we play against right now is his first name, but Montpetit. I don't usually try to pronounce all the French names, but because I'm not good at it. But Montpetit was an incredible goaltender, and he was one of the goalies who was very good every night. But there was days that he could turn it on, and he was completely unbeatable. And you knew that kind of in the back of your head. But it was always fun trying to score on him and get him out of the net, because it's kind of the only way he could have success against his teams.
Yeah, I believe he played against for Val-d'Or and Victoriaville. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so he played in my division when I was 16 to 18, and then he was traded to Victoriaville. I think it was my 19 season.
What would your top couple moments be playing in the Q, Shaun?
Yeah, so top moments would be, I think one of my favorite ones ever was in my 16-year-old season. I believe we finished 16th place or 15th place in the league, and ended up playing against Val-d'Or, which Rouyn-Noranda and Val-d'Or 1 and 2 in the league. We were 15th place with rookies like myself. Had kind of no business competing, and we ended up going to Game 7 and winning in triple overtime against them. And I'm not sure if it still holds to this day, but at that point, it was the biggest upset in CHL history. And the rink was packed, and it was just incredible atmosphere. So much fun as a team, and I think that would be my favorite moment. We went to the finals when I was 17, lost against St. John, which was a nice journey, but a singular moment itself would be that win against Val-d'Or.
So after a great junior career, you head to Dalhousie, obviously. Why'd you choose Dal, and did you have any other options, or even maybe pro deals?
Yeah, I was thinking there was tons of options on the table, and it took me quite a while to decide. I wasn't a big fan of the recruitment process through the university recruitment, but I was strongly considering Acadia, which I'm sure you guys are super familiar with the school.
Big time.
Kind of came down to Dalhousie and Acadia. And if I'm being quite honest, there wasn't a single reason why I decided Dalhousie. It just kind of ended up having to be this way. There wasn't a deciding factor or anything that pushed me one way or another. I just, at the end of the day, I chose to come to Dalhousie, and I'm grateful I made that decision.
A little closer to home too.
Yeah, exactly.
People don't really realize the workload that university athletes have. Can you tell me like your typical day as a Dal Tiger?
Yeah, so we wake up 6, practice at or wake up 6:30, practice at 8, practice, depending on the day, game before day, or whatever day it is, hour and a half practice. Then if there's training that day, we train around 10, and then it's classes, school, writing papers, doing assignments throughout the whole day. And then game days are a little bit different. It would be wake up. We don't have to report to the rink in the morning like you do in junior, just because you're going to have a game at night. You got to have time to get your stuff done. So whether that's school, taking care of some personal life things, exams, anything you need to squeeze in before the game. And then, around 2:00, I'll head down for a short nap and head to the rink around 4. So pretty busy. There is times of the year that we do get to relax, and it's not as stressful as the student athlete title gives it. But in exam season and when hockey's in crunch time, it definitely piles on quick, and guys are forced to manage their time like professionals.
Yeah, so there are a ton of Q alumni on Dal. 11 players played at least one game in the Q. Did that make it easier for you to transition?
Yeah, it's most guys that you're going to play with. As long as you're not doing the cross country or changing areas, a lot of the guys. So whether I knew them personally or I knew them from just hearing names or being contacts through association, you kind of know who you're going in to play with, and the transition is made pretty easily from junior to university, going from 68 games to 30 games. The tough part for junior to university is picking up the amount of education you're taking in. I only ever took 2 or 3 courses during junior semesters, and now you're taking 5 at a time. So the workload gains a ton.
I notice you're always the first guy waiting to go out for warm up, always the first guy waiting to go out to start the game, like way ahead of everyone else. Like I see you like 10 minutes before the clock's out and you're just out there waiting to go. Do you have like a pregame routine you kind of go through? Like, are you superstitious?
Yeah, I know you're not supposed to have too many superstitions and all that, but I am a hockey player at the end of the day. It's I am superstitious. I've just been doing that. I've been doing that since probably bantam, midget hockey. I've always been the first guy to the room. I'm not superstitious to the point where if somebody goes out in front of me, I'm gonna be a mess, or if I'm late. But it's just something I do. I get up, I get out of the room, and I go take some time for myself before the period or game starts.
What music gets you fired up for games? Are you like the locker room DJ, or do you just kind of have your own?
No, I'm not the locker room DJ, and I've never been a guy to wear headphones either. I just put a lot of faith in my teammates, and this year, or since I've been at Dal, it's been Brett Crosley, and I'm not scared to give him a little heat if it's bad, and I'll give him a little pump up if it's good. But I kind of like some new school punk rock stuff. I like MGK. I like a little bit of the crazier stuff to get me ready for a game. And if I'm away from it, I'm going country.
What's Crosley playing?
He plays a little bit of everything. He likes the rap a bit. I'm not a big rap guy. I have to give it to him a bit when he does that. He'll throw on some rock, or he'll throw on pretty much anything. He tries to get into the EDM stuff. So I just like giving it to him anyways, and he gives it right back to me. So it's good fun before the game anyways.
So a similar question from before. What's your favorite player to play with at Dal right now?
At Dal, favorite player to play with. Like I said, all of them are great. I would say the player that I've been playing with most throughout my career is here at Dal is a player that I've been training with since I was a kid. So Matt Green is a good buddy of mine. We always tend to find each other in the lineup. We always play together, penalty kill together, power play together, 5-on-5 together. So we've gained a good connection over that, and it's a little bit easier to play with guys when you're good buddies with them and understand them as people.
Who's your least favorite player to play against in the AUS?
In the AUS,
toughest guy to play against.
That one, there's quite a few that I don't love playing against. I would say a good buddy of mine, and maybe former person on the show, Peyton Hoyt.
Wow,
is not a fun player to play against. No. He's just one of those guys who when he's on the ice, you have to know about him, because if he hits you, you're probably not getting up. And I don't understand quite how he hits that hard, but he is one of those gifted guys that if he's 200 pounds, he hits with all 200 pounds of it, and you feel all 200 pounds of it. So he's one of those guys that is dangerous with the puck and incredibly dangerous without it. So my least favorite player to play against, but not my least favorite guy by any stretch of the imagination.
There you go.
Can you give me your reaction to being named to that U Sports team that played against the Canadian World Junior hopefuls? Just like what the experience was like for you.
Yeah, I was super excited. I've had a really tough year with injuries and sicknesses and everything under the sun that could go wrong seemed like it was going wrong this year for me as a hockey player. But that was kind of a breath of fresh air, knowing that I was still recognized as one of the better players in the league. And I think sometimes leaving junior hockey and you're coming from a place where you're playing in front of thousands and people want your attention and people give you the attention and you feel very special. I think sometimes when you step back and you play university hockey, you kind of lose that feeling of a little bit of self-pride that you are a decent hockey player and people do want to watch you play. So it was nice to be recognized and feel that feeling of wanted again. So I had a lot of fun, and that World Junior program is incredible, and those players, we were grateful to watch them play here in Halifax, but I don't think people understand really how good every single one of those guys in that hockey team is, and how much commitment it takes for those guys to be at the level that they are at that age.
Did you play against Bedard? What was that like?
Unfortunately, no. So he didn't play. My plus minus probably would have looked a lot different if we did play against him. But he was one of those guys that was going to be on the team, was going to be a first line guy. And playing against the U Sports All-Star team wasn't a priority for Hockey Canada to put Bedard or Wright out there. So we did. I did play against Fantilli and a couple. 20 other amazing players that are going to have bright futures in professional hockey and most likely the NHL. So it was a lot of fun, very challenging, and I wish I would have been in a little bit better shape to skate with them.
One last thing, I want to get your take on this. People always debate between what's better, the U Sports or CHL. What's kind of your take on that? You played them both, so I just kind of want to know your opinion.
Yeah, I think it depends on what you're looking for in a hockey game. I think the people who really understand and have a respect for the game of hockey would say U Sports is a better hockey game. It's faster, it's stronger, it's a little less flashy. It's a lot more simple play. You got big men who are fast, strong, in shape, and they don't have the $92,000 signing bonus sitting in their bank account. They're working towards becoming better at hockey, but they're also working towards getting into the workforce and working towards a regular everyday life. So it's a little bit more, I would say, less skilled. But if you're looking for the flashy toe drags, crazy highlights, and going to get autographs signed, well, the CHL is your place. You're going to have guys, one or two guys on a team that are going to sign pro contracts, who are going to be NHL hopefuls, and some places, like we're privileged here to watch Dume play. He's going to be an NHLer. It's great to go watch those guys play, but if you're looking for a total complete hockey package, maybe the U Sports.
Last question. I know this is an easy one, but who is the easiest guy to strike out in baseball?
Oh,
easiest guy to strike out in baseball?
Yeah.
Well, my arm was feeling good, I'd say you.
I was going to say, I was waiting for it. All right, Shaun, you're a beauty, buddy. We appreciate you coming on. Welcome anytime.
Yeah.
We appreciate you coming on, and tell all your friends. Well, we'd love to have them too. Any of your buddies.
I appreciate you guys having me on, and I hope this can bring some attraction and you guys can continue to grow. So let me know if there's anything I can do for you guys, or reach out to players that if you guys need their contacts, just let me know.
Appreciate that, Shaun. Hey, guys, Dal Tigers are going to be a wagon next year. They'll be a good team. So keep an eye on the Dal Tigers.
Thanks,
that was
Shaun.
Shaun Miller of the Dal Tigers.
Shaun, great guy. Played baseball against him. Very humble dude.
Yeah.
Great interview. Like he was
loved
all about player development, and like I liked his point about taking that 16-year-old year and just playing in midget again, or U18, I guess.
He seems like a super nice guy, yeah.
Awesome guy.
Thanks, Shaun, for coming on again.
Didn't like him call me out, saying I was the easiest to strike out, but that's okay. I was kind of asking for it.
Yeah.
I got some weekend games for y'all. So Quebec on Saturday beat the Moncton Wildcats 5-1. 5 different goal scorers for the Remparts: James Malatesta, Daniel Agostino, Justin Robida, Theo Rochette, and Jeremy Langlaw scored for the Remparts.
There you go.
Robida scores first in 7 games, which shocked me when I
Yeah.
saw it. 5 unanswered goals from the Remparts after being down 1-0 after the first. Will Rousseau, 24 saves, no surprise there. Oscar Plandowski, lone Wildcat goal. This game, 5 different goal scorers as well for the Rouyn-Noranda Huskies, beating Drummondville 5-2. Daniil Borosh, Dylan Gill, Tristan Allard, Edward Cournoyer, and Benjamin Brunel scored. Drummondville stormed back to make it 4-2 before Cournoyer's empty netter. Nino Tomov and Marc-Olivier Baudry scored for the Bolts. It was Baudry's first goal, so congrats to Marc-Olivier, former first-round pick. So, back in 2021. Once again, the Gatineau Olympique put up 11 goals. Second time in 2 weeks. They're a scary team after getting Kidney, McDonald.
They're stacked.
La Pena.
They're
Man,
disgusting.
unreal.
They're so gross.
Zach Dean, Sam Savoie, and Olivier Boutin each scored twice. Antoine Michaud, Marcel, Colin Ratt, Alexis Gendron, and Cole Cormier all scored as well.
The usual
Getting
suspects.
out of breath here, man.
The usual suspects, dude.
Only 6 Olympiques held off the score sheet, so shots were 51-24 in favor of Gatineau, so that's a good reason why. Savoie 5 points, Dean and Marcel had 4 points each, and Tristan Lideau had 3 assists. Alex Drover scored twice, and Vince Ellie scored the other for the Sea Dogs.
Alex Drover, man.
And Gatineau's won 9 of their last 10, actually, not 8 of their last 10. So
There you go.
Olivier Charlot made 15 saves for his first career shutout. Vincent Collard, Justin Poirier, and Matthias Malowski scored
There
for the
you go.
Drakkar. Charles-Antoine Dumont was named the first star with a whopping 0 points. So I would love to pick the 3 stars sometime.
Yeah.
Surely it can't be that
I'm
hard.
sure it's been over 10 times where we went over these game recaps and they just had 0 points.
Remy Delafonte made 40 saves in the loss. So, good game for him.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't even think he was named a star. So, I don't see.
Yeah,
that
why
he
not?
could have been
Why
a
not
star.
give it to that guy?
Victoriaville 5-2 against Val d'Or. Maxime Pellerin, 2 goals and 2 assists. Tommy Cormier, Will Vayette, and friend of the show, Thomas Belzile, scored for the Victoriaville Tigre. Gabe Dagla, 30 saves in the win. You guys need to check out his YouTube channel because he's going to be unreal. Like, he made this back when he was in Bantam, and you don't really see it on the ice, but in his videos, it shows just how quick he is with his, like, his T-pushes and his slides. It's unreal. So check that out, Gabe Dagla on YouTube.
Yeah, that was when he was like young too.
I think he was in Bantam because
Yeah.
I thought he was
Well,
young.
like yeah,
He was only in Bantam a couple of years ago.
yeah, because in his it was like in his like basement doing all the.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. You guys need to check that out. We also got Bathurst losing to Blainville 4-2. Man, what a tough season for both these teams, actually.
Yeah.
Blainville had such high expectations at the start of the year, trading, Lawrence away, and they didn't get Pat Gay,
Traded Brady Schmidt.
traded Braden Schmidt, so they definitely weren't supposed to be sellers, but sometimes that's how it works. You just gotta, work with what you got.
Yeah.
Michael Dennis, Xavier Saracen, Max Struhl, and Alex Blaze scored for the Armada. Blaze's first of the season. Ben Allison and Bobby Orr scored for the Titan. That's it for Saturday. Sunday, we have Halifax beating Rimouski 6-1. I got to witness another Jordan Dumais hat trick.
There you go.
4th of the season. I'm pretty sure I've been to 3 of them. Attilio Biasca, Evan Boucher, and Brody Fournier scored for the others. Mooseheads game. Sorry, the Mooseheads have gotten points in 24 straight games. So, we
Not
said
bad.
that earlier.
That's not bad.
21-0, 1-1 in that span. And that streak started after they got... It was LaRue's second game back that it started. And then they also got Lawrence and Doucette. So, pretty impressive. Julian Balin scored the only Rimouski goal. Rimouski had the first goal, and then Halifax rattled off 6 straight. That building was buzzing.
I bet.
that day. It was loud. I don't think there was 10,000 fans. Like it said they had 10,000 fans. It just didn't feel like it. Like the World Juniors got my expectations really
the World
high.
Juniors was nuts, man.
Kate Breton beating Charlottetown 4-1. Jacob Newcomb, Sam Johnson, Cam Squires, and Ivan scored for the Eagles, and Oliver Shatney 28 saves. Jacob Robillard made 27 saves in the loss. We've said his name a few times. He was signed by Charlottetown after being with Sherbrooke after they picked up Olivier Adam, and he's been nothing but spectacular for Charlottetown. He had some big shoes to fill with Frankie LaPena.
For sure.
Michael Horth scored the only Islanders goal. Sherbrooke beat Rouyn-Noranda 5-1. Israel Menanscom scored twice. Cole Huckins, Ethan Gauthier, and Jacob Rabanich scored the others. Menanscom 3 points. Olivier Adam 26 saves and earned the first star. Thomas Verdun scored the lone Huskies goal. He was an honorable mention for Rookie of the Month last month. Thomas Couture made 24 saves in the loss. He's a Acadia commit. Thomas Couture. Sherbrooke scored 2 empty netters, so it was 3-1 game.
We'll say it.
Essentially. Close one here. Blainville 5-4 over Val-d'Or. Max Struhl scored again with 1:47 to play to get the win. Xavier Saracen, Michael Dennis, Justin Boissel, and Thomas Paquette scored as well. Big one for Paquette. Scored his first career goal to tie the game at 4. Charles Edward Gravel, 26 saves. Will Blackburn, 45 saves in the loss. Louis Robin, Charles-Antoine Beauregard, Antoine Legacy scored in his second straight game after he scored his first last game. And Zachael Turgeon scored the other. Blainville outshot Val-d'Or 50-30. We also got Baie-Comeau beating Chicoutimi 5-2. Down 2-0. Baie-Comeau scored 5. A lot of unanswered goals in this recap.
Seems like it.
Marc-Antoine Seguin scored twice. Felix Gagnon, Vincent Collard, and Charles-Antoine Dumont scored the others. 22 saves for Olivier Charlot. Seguin had 3 points. Charles-Antoine Lavely, 26 saves. Fabrice Fortin and Felix Bedard scored the Sags goals. And Drummondville, this was a wild game. 2-1 against Bathurst. Man, Drummondville, I think I read they lost 8 of their last 10. And they have some big names. Like, they're not a pushover. They got, like, Riley Mercer. Who else? Riley Woodworth. Tyler Peddle. Maverick Lamoureux. Yeah. So, they're not a pushover. They're a good team. I just can't believe they're not in a great division either. Like, they're, like, Chicoutimi's in that division. Yeah, so it's Shawinigan's in that division.
Well, with 12 or something games left, they obviously need to do something.
Well, they fired their coach 25 games in.
Yeah, which
should have worked.
Should have worked, yeah.
After Jeremy Lapointe tied the game with 6 seconds to go, Xavier Fortin and Maxime Lafont scored in the shootout to win. Lafont scored in the 10th round of the shootout. Riley Mercer, 25 saves, along with 9 in the shootout to give him 34. They don't count that in the stats, but 34. Mm-hmm. They should count that in the stats because a save's a save. Yeah. Donovan Arsenault scored in regulation and the shootout. Josh Fleming, 49 saves along with 8 in the shootout. And if my math's right, that's 57 saves. Arsenault has 8 points in 11 games since coming over in the kidney deal. Yeah. So,
boosting him up.
That's it for my game recaps.
There you go.
As I'm now writing for Gatineau, I'm very excited for February. I think it's the 11th. Battle of the Ottawa River, Gatineau against the 67s. Right now, the 67s just clinched first in the OHL.
They're good, man.
And there's still 12 games left, so
who's
pretty
the guy
impressive.
On the 67s?
Tyler Boucher.
He's a Montreal prospect. I don't think go to forwards.
Logan Morrison. They got some great names. Luca Pinelli, he's draft eligible. Tyler Boucher, son of Brian Boucher. I'm not even trying to pronounce that name that you just pointed to me.
He's from Latvia, I think.
Okay. Pavel Minchikov, he's 10th overall pick of Anaheim a while back, so they're a good team. Jack Mathieu, he was at the
World Juniors?
Yep, World Juniors. Yeah. So that'll be a good game. They play like 2 games, and so looking at the standings. West Division, Gatineau is starting to run away with the division. 68 points compared to Rouyn-Noranda's 62. Sherbrooke is, can't do math right now, 3 points up on Victoriaville, Shawinigan, and Drummondville. So Drummondville's 7 points back of Shawinigan for that
That's a big
third spot.
Lead up, though.
Yeah, they have 2 games in hand, but
yeah.
Quebec's already clinched a playoff spot. I believe they were the first to do so. 83 points, and the next best is Rimouski with a whopping 54. Tied with Chicoutimi for second in that division. Rimouski has a game in hand, and Baie-Comeau at the basement of that one with 46 points. Maritime Division, Halifax 30 points up on Moncton. And then you got Cape Breton, Charlottetown, Bathurst, and St. John separated by 5 points for third.
There you go.
So I said earlier, you've got St. John and Bathurst would miss the playoffs if they start today. However, Drummondville, Cape Breton, Val-d'Or, Charlottetown, Bathurst, and St. John are all separated by 7 points. So it's going to be an interesting,
it should be
interesting
end
end.
for sure.
I'm going to pull up the league stats here. I'm pretty sure Jordan Dumais is still first in almost everything.
We're almost used to it by now.
Jordan Dumais, 91 points to lead. Alex Doucette, 80 points, tied with Zach Bolduc for second. Alex Doucette, 40 goals, 3 ahead of Jacob Melanson of the Phoenix. 56 assists for Jordan Dumais. We also got in goal, Anthony Hamill leads the league in penalty minutes, in case anyone was interested.
There you go.
Goals against average, Will Rousseau with 2.0. Alexandre Marchand, I'm pretty sure he's played 1 game, so that doesn't count.
That doesn't really count.
Save percentage, Nathan Darvaux, 930. Him and Gabe Dagla have a 930 and a 921. I said at the start of the year, good duo. They're going to be a good
great
duo.
duo, man.
Mathis Rousseau leads the league in wins with 26. 24 behind him is Will Rousseau. No relation as far as I know. Mm-hmm. And Will Rousseau is tied with Patrick Hammerlove Rimouski for shutouts with 4. There you go. Anything you got to say? Anything else?
No. I'm excited what 12 games left. I'm excited what goes down. It should be interesting for sure.
I want to thank Shaun Miller for coming on to the podcast with us. I just want to double check how many games they play in the queue because I'm pretty sure
I'm just saying 12 because you said 12.
Well, that's why I'm wondering.
But somewhere around there. We'll say it.
But yes, thank you, Shaun, for coming on. He was a great interview. We hope you guys enjoy it. It doesn't tell me how many games they play.
Whatever. It's all good.
Oh, it's 68. That's what it is. 68. So there's actually 18 games left for most teams. So
there you go.
Sorry about that little buffer. But we are, as always, thank you guys for watching. Follow our Instagram, QReview_pod, our Twitter, QReview_pod as well. We're now on YouTube, so you'll be able to watch all our interviews and our podcast live. So that should be posted Thursday night. And once again, brought to you by Barely's House of Blues and Ribs, downtown Halifax. We will see you guys next week.
Thanks, guys.